Well, we're down just to 2 weeks left in the class. This is week number 5. The reading this week will continue a little bit looking at some current strategies, but also the chapter in the textbook. We'll take a look at what some trends for the future, what some current trends seem to be pointing us toward in terms of a future. So think a little bit about what it might mean out there a few years from now to be accomplishing the Great Commission. Then the special project this week builds on last week as well as on all the previous weeks, because this will be a chance for you to become a leader, to try to recruit one person face to face or via Skype or something like that. But one person face to face, and you'll attempt to recruit them in some way for the cause of world evangelism. Now, this could take a variety of directions. It could be someone who's kind of been outspoken and saying, we got too many needs in our own community. We ought to be doing, sending all of our resources here. So it'd be a chance for you to think about that biblical material about the book of Jonah. Jonah was happy doing that as a prophet. He didn't want to go to Nineveh. Those people didn't deserve it. Or some of the other material about God's heart for all the nations that's just shown throughout the Old Testament. It would be a chance for you to talk some biblical material with someone. You don't have to convince them to give a lot of money right away, but at least see if you can get them to at least think about it, pray about what seems to be the biblical call to all peoples to be involved in this all nations kind of thing. Or it might be that there's someone who's on board with missions, but maybe could be recruited to do something around the local church, maybe to take on the responsibility for a bulletin board or responsibility for the Links program. Maybe your church has never gotten too involved in that, and maybe someone needs to take on that adopted missionary and make sure that birthday cards and letters and maybe some small gifts and that sort of thing is done. Or maybe it could be just getting someone to be a part of the missions, the NMI Council or the Missions Council. Maybe it could be talking to the children's director to say, hey, do you have a regular time in which you do a mission story for kids, or talk to the youth leader and say, hey, do you regularly build in emphases in the youth program about world evangelism? And so there's a variety of directions that this could take. Maybe he's trying to get someone to go on a missions trip that's being organized by your district or local church or your regional university or something like that. This week will be a chance for you to build on the material of the previous weeks as you talk to one person face to face. This is not something in front of a Sunday school class or in front of the church. This is to be one-on-one, face to face. And sometimes people in a course like this say they're uncomfortable with doing that, but this is something that leaders do all the time. A good leader has to recruit people one-on-one to take up responsibilities. You can't fill all the positions in a church simply by making announcements from the pulpit. We need somebody to do this. We need somebody else to do that. It needs to be someone who sits down over coffee or over a lunch or a donut or something and says, hey, have you thought about this? Or would you pray about this? Here's what we need, and I just think you're fitted for that. This will be a chance for some of you who've never done it to practice being a leader, what good leaders do. Then, of course, there's the responsibility during the week to make sure that you involved in the conversation by writing substantive notes on at least one of them on 5 different days during the week. And the week will conclude, of course, with the kind of the wrap up. It's time for us to finish strong. It's week number 5.